around 2 o'clock, they started the protest. Oh, hold on now. Oh, it just switched it up. Oh, so that's how that works. Okay. Can y'all still see me? Make sure y'all can see me. Because it just switched it up. I think it's going to wait for everybody to come back in. Let me refresh my page. Give me just a second. Learn how to use your encode. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, there it is. I'm back. Okay. I've never done this before, so forgive me. It had to reset the encoder. Okay, hey members. Hey y'all. All right, just hit refresh. Oh, it got rid of all the noise. You see that? These are the paid members. These are the people. These are the real supporters here. Welcome. It stopped and refreshed. So that's what it did. We're back. So now we can have grown adult conversations without all the noise and the trolling. Okay, the mods should be good. Okay, cool. Cool. I see everybody coming back in here. Okay, it's my first time. Like I said, I've never done this before. But I loved how I show speed. He didn't play that shit. He said, if you're going to be in here, oh, you're going to be a member. You're not going to be trolling on my birthday, being disrespectful. They were his real fans that were in that chat. So much so I ended up subscribing. Okay? I respect it. So welcome back, everybody. Good. I'm going to wait for everybody to get back up in here. All right. And I'm going to create some new... little emotes and all that. So I'm working with one of my graphic designers. So we'll have new badges, new emotes. So we're working on some stuff for 2026, so yeah. Okay, everybody's coming back. Okay, perfect. Come on back in. All right. Cool. Look, I know that's right. Jenny says, let them know they can't sip with us. No, they can't. And I'm tired. I've been too nice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm over it. I'm done playing nice with people, letting people think they can just disrespect me, disrespect what I've built, come in here and just be an agent of chaos, be extra disrespectful, cuss me out, cuss out my subscribers, cuss out my mods. Fuck out of here. New energy in 2026, okay? I'm not tolerating it anymore. So yeah, we're people have been supporting me for too long. So no, I want to create a space for people who are true members, true supporters. You know what I'm saying? Every month, y'all are paying for an experience. And I'm tired of my chat getting hijacked by people who are not even subscribed. So this is how we're going to do moving forward. If it's low, you might want to refresh because the microphone's all the way up. It's literally right here. So, okay, good. Somebody said I like this way better. What's up, opinionated with a side of shade? Look, I Smile says new energy, definitely. This is how I want it moving forward. I don't care if it's 20 people in here. We gonna chop it up and have good conversations. Again, we can all agree to disagree. I don't care about people. This is not a democracy. I mean, a dictatorship. I don't expect people to agree with everything that comes out my mouth. But the disrespect is not going to be tolerated anymore. Because now it's not even about people disagreeing. It's about people just being very, very disrespectful and thinking it's cute, looking for attention. So I'm giving motherfuckers the attention they've been searching for. Now go get your attention elsewhere. You're not going to get it over here. So I'm glad y'all like this better. Good. Boundaries. Yes. Look. W. Wilson, thank you. That is the energy in 2026, creating boundaries. Okay, getting folks that don't need to be in your life, getting them out of here. Boundaries. I love that. We all need to create boundaries from people, especially if they mean you no good. But so let's talk about what is going on right now in the Twin Cities. So today is a huge protest. Like I said, this is one of the coldest days. I've lived in Minnesota off and on since childhood. The coldest I've ever seen it get in Minnesota is negative 10 degrees. I woke up this morning. Y'all seen the screenshot? And I bring receipts. On my phone, it said, good morning, T. It's negative 22 degrees with a wind chill of negative 29. We are dealing with Alaskan temperatures right now. It's colder in Minnesota than it is Alaska. Okay? So I definitely believe this is geoengineering. They made it extremely cold to try and keep people indoors because they knew today was a big protest. So the protest that's going on all around the Twin Cities is people leaving their homes to go to downtown Minneapolis and other places to go protest in peace and to show that, you know, they don't want ICE here. Let us, you know, let the state handle what needs to be handled, because this has really affected every aspect of our life here in Minnesota. It really has. Like, I literally had a mental breakdown yesterday. I mean, y'all heard me in Discord, and thank you for everybody who just prayed with me. And like, I had a mental breakdown. I just broke down crying. I just couldn't take anything anymore yesterday. And I just needed to just cry. You know, it was just, when you're getting hit constantly with information from friends and, you know, subscribers and people who are going through it, and this happened, and it was too much. And it wasn't even like, I think it had just hit like 9 o'clock in the morning. And then like all the stuff that went down overnight, you know, with some folks in the Discord, and, you know, just, you know, the back and forth, which is okay, because we're not always going to agree, right? But it was just a lot, you know, it was just a lot. But I'm a lot better now. But, you know, like I told y'all this morning, you know, they want that. They want to take over. They're using Minnesota as a testing ground. Minnesota's a lot smaller than California. It's a lot smaller than Texas. So for them, if they can use Minnesota as a testing ground, they can do it to other smaller states. That's why now they're in Maine. If you guys do not understand how serious it is, it's not just people's businesses and restaurants shutting down. Like I've told y'all in Zoom, I've gone to several of my favorite restaurants, from Mediterranean to Mexican to Asian. Even Thai places that we eat at, shut down. Closed, don't know when they'll be back open, okay? So on top of this, at MSP, the people at the Minneapolis airport came out. The head people came out yesterday on the news and said, you know, because at this point they're just pulling anybody over, and that's what I was trying to get people to understand. This is not a Somalian issue. If you are black or brown, they are pulling you over. One of my friends is one of my good friends, I mean, for like the past 25 years. And he called me and he said that, because his husband works for social services and, you know, DSS, so they're all dealing with a lot of stuff. I have a lot of friends who work in that field. One of his case people, they called him in the middle of the night crying, saying ICE was outside their door. And could he come? He's not getting paid. That's above his job description. But because he's white, because this family's black, they were crying, begging him to leave. And I said, what did he do? He said he got up in the middle of the night. He said, I was so scared, T. I didn't want him to go, but he's like, I got to help out. I said, damn it, that's how you be a fucking ally. And he, shout out to you. I'm not going to say your name. We're not going to blow up your spot. But he got up out of bed, out of his comfort zone in negative whatever degree weather, and went to go make sure the family was okay, to document. They eventually left, and because they're going door to door. It's that real. This is not social media gossip and fodder. This is what's really happening here. They are going door to door. They're allowed to enter your home if you let them in. They don't need a warrant anymore. If it's a white person's home, they're asking the white people, who in your neighborhood is Asian? Who in your neighborhood is African? Who in your neighborhood is Caribbean? So back to the Minneapolis airport. This is affecting every facet of life, right? People are getting pulled over left and right in Bloomington going to work. Bloomington is where the Mall of America is, and Bloomington is also where our airport is. I know several people who have been pulled over simply going to work. Some detained, some let go. The workers are now scared to go to work at the airport. In order for you to work at the airport, you are ran through a criminal, immigration background, TSAs at the airport, okay? Well, now ICE is at the airport. So what happened the other day is that on Reddit, and I follow the Delta Forum, I've been on the Delta Forum for years on Reddit, all of a sudden somebody posts and says, ICE came on a plane and grabbed a Somali man. They were all going to France. ICE came on the plane and snatched him up. This is what's happened. They're now going on planes. And you got to ask yourself, why would they go on a plane and snatch somebody up? They're trying to make a show. They're trying to prove a point. Because think about it. When you first go into the line, TSA is going to tell you yay or nay if you can go any further. So if he was really wanted, TSA would have shut him down right there. They would have pulled him out the line and took him to the back room. But see, now they're letting people go. Go into the back room, go onto the plane, and now they're literally pulling them off of the plane in front of everybody to create fear, to create a show. Because any other time they would just pull you out of line and take you in the back room. Now they're coming on the plane. So you have Delta employees and other people at the airport seeing this, that now they're in the airports. So what's happening? Most of the people who do the work, like the baggage, the cooks, the de-icers, they're all people of color. Guess what? They've stopped showing up. Not that they're illegal, because everybody's been vetted to work there. They're scared because they're also taking citizens and then taking you to the Whipple building until you can prove who you are. People are handing them their passports. People are handing them their real ID, and they're saying, we don't care about that, taking them in anyways. Well, what was the point of this whole get your real ID this summer? Remember the whole push to get your real ID, and we all ran and got our real IDs? Well, what is the point now if when you give them your real ID, they're saying it's not good enough? So at this point, they said over half the staff at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport is not showing up. That is a danger. That is dangerous to safety. There's not enough people to do what they need to do. There's not enough people to de-ice the planes. There's not enough people to handle the baggage. So now this is affecting safety in air travel. So what's going to end up happening? They may have to just close down the airport. So why y'all, not y'all per se, but why people on the internet are thinking this is just a joke, this is just a kiki, this is affecting everyday life here. Right now, they're also protesting at the airport. Guess what ICE is doing currently? Let me pull this up here. This is at the airport because they were protesting because a man came out and said, look, TSA has this. TSA has jurisdiction. We don't need you at our airports causing chaos, grabbing people off of planes, scaring our employees from coming to work. Let me share my screen. This one. Okay. This is at the airport 2 hours ago. Negative 22-degree weather.
And the power and the glory forever. Amen.
So now, let me see if this is the clip. So they're arresting people. I'm trying to find They're arresting people now at the airport for peacefully protesting. Peacefully protesting. Let that sink in. go down my feed because this is what I'm dealing with 24/7 on my feed. This is why I had a mental breakdown yesterday. The stuff that is going on in our city is insane. This is why everybody's protesting. Yeah, and I can't be out there in the cold for medical reasons. So for people who can't be out there, no shopping today. You're not supposed to be shopping. Everybody stay home, you know, doing the whole economic boycott thing. So we're just going to go down my feed.
Do you have a warrant for his arrest?
You have a
legal.
Yo soy legal.
Keep blowing your whistle. What is your phone number?
Oh, hold on. Somebody saying y'all can't hear? Somebody just said that y'all can't hear the videos. Is that correct? Let me know. You know there's a delay. Okay, y'all can't hear. Okay. I want to make sure. Okay. Okay, good. I want to make sure. Hold on. Pink Dot says, T, the Discord is going crazy because the video's in members only mode. Can you let them in? I'm not sure how this works. I'm going to talk to my YouTube manager. Let me come on here real quick. And see if there's like a code I can give Discord and Patreon. Because being that they already paid for Discord and Patreon, I'm going to see if there's like a code. Like I said, it's my first time doing this, so I don't know how it works. But I'm going to continue with the show, but I will find out more information on how I can make people who on other platforms who pay be able to join in the discussion as well. So right now we're going to continue with the show. Let's see here. All right, let me finish showing y'all the video.
Oh my God.
And mind you, the weather is negative 20-something degrees. This child is in the snow with no coat on and like some flip-flops.
Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. Show your fucking face. Bitch ass pussy.
Speak in hushed tones behind your back for the rest of your fucking life.
A child. A child.
Okay, I just checked my settings. It's not giving me an option for the subscribers. My setting, let me take a screenshot so I can show y'all receipts. It's only saying members only. It was supposed to have an option for subscribers. I'm not seeing it at all. So yeah, I'm gonna send it. I'll send it to my YouTube manager so they can, you know, figure all this stuff out. But yeah, it's only I'm back in the option thing on my back end. It's only saying start a Q&A, start a poll, or members only. There's no option for subscribers. So I don't know. I know with iShowSpeed, he had subscribers and members only. So maybe because I don't have 50 million subscribers, I don't know how it works, but I will find out. I will find out. So yeah, it is insane. So let me see.
So over the last few weeks, I've kept my head down.
They're supposed to be going to the Target Center. Let me see if they have started the march. Because it's supposed to be, everybody, all the media is supposed to be going to the Target Center. That's where everybody's supposed to be heading to. Let me refresh, see where they're at.
All right, everybody.
Oh, is he? Oh, he's not live no more. Oh, it looks like Don Lemon might be live. Okay. I know Status Quo is live. I'm trying to find some other. There's another one I was watching.
Make my page bigger here so I can read it.
He ain't there. Don Lemon is at home doing what the hell I'm doing. Thought he was down in the action. Let me see what Status Quo got going on. God, because everybody's supposed to hear. Okay, here goes some people in downtown Minneapolis. Let's watch this. I'm going to keep looking and seeing if they're going to be heading towards the Target Center. Give me just a second here. Okay. Let me.
Hey, I love your hat. These were hanging out for like the first, I don't know, 1,000 or so, like after that game.
I don't know how we're all gonna get in there.
I've seen like 4 of them today. Oh yeah, is that shrimp? Wait.
They're supposed to be making their way to the Target Center. Let me see what Status Quo's doing. Where they at? No, okay, that's the one. He just started his over. Okay, Status Quo. Because they were trying to get into the Target.
Yeah. You're referencing the fact that these funding bills that have been making their way through Congress and were approved by Congress do allocate more continued funding for all of the Trump administration's agenda here.
And I mean, it's like we're living in the twilight zone. There's no money for healthcare. There's no money for schools. There's no money, education, infrastructure, any of the things. But there's enough money for these Gestapo motherfuckers to terrorize us. And they're literally terrorizing us in an American city. It's not right. It's just not right. And, you know, if anybody comes here, I'm sure you've seen, it is so chill here. Like, why is anybody here? Like, if you go to Nicole Goods Memorial, it's just like friendly, nice neighborhood. Why are there anybody here? Why is there any police force here?
Okay. I'm trying to see where Kara 11 is. The sound is fading in and out. I don't know what's going on with the sound. That's so weird. I can't hear you well on the TV. I wonder if they're like playing with the stream at this point, because it says the stream is excellent, but people seem to be having an issue with the sound. That is so weird. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know why the sound is going out for some people. Everybody else is saying that the video is really loud. I guess it depends on if you have your earbuds in, because for some people, they're saying it's loud. Other people are saying that it's low. They're saying that my voice is really low. That is weird. Let me try and... Okay, I've turned it all the way up in my OBS. Is that better? I turned it to the max in OBS. Can y'all hear me better now? It's to the max. Okay. Okay, so y'all are saying the video is low, but when I try and talk over it, it's a lot lower. Okay, that's better. Okay, maybe my OBS was turned, the microphone on my OBS was turned down. Okay, good. I think that's what it was. The volume button in OBS was turned down, but my microphone, that volume is all the way up. So that's what had me confused. So, okay. All right, good. I'm glad y'all can hear me. Okay. Let me see. where our local news is and what they're saying.
And we are approved to go inside.
Now they're in front of the Target Center. Let's see if they get into the Target Center. Mercado Media, they're about to go into the Target Center. Let's see here.
I wonder how this works. Is status quo inside, guys? Is status quo in there? Let me pull up where they're at. Where are they at?
Status quo's not in there because they're still on the streets trying to figure out a way to get in. So they're not in here. And I thought Don Lemon would be in here, but he's not. He's at home or in a hotel or something.
No, they're outside still. Okay, I want to go in now. I want to see what's going on in here. Well, we got the approval.
Take a seat.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is our Target Center where the Wolves play, where you go to concerts. Cardi B performed here.
It's warm now.
Ooh, Target Center is jam-packed.
Yes, I am. Where's the media section?
Press is over here.
Thank you.
Okay, good. We got somebody with press. Oh, they're streaming again. Oh, damn. Let me refresh it. They might be having issues because now they're in the Target Center. Oh, man. Okay,
Is this the media section?
damn, they got bad reception in the Target Center. Everybody in his chat is saying that too. The signal's dropping.
Is this the media section?
No.
No.
Where's media going? Media.
No, that sounds good.
I'm gonna keep it muted for now, until they can figure out where the media goes, because he doesn't seem to know yet. But I'm gonna keep my eye on their stream. Let me come back on the screen here. I'm gonna just keep it muted for now, but I'm gonna keep watching them and seeing, because I don't know if the mayor is gonna speak or, the governor. I'm not sure what they're planning on doing, but yeah, that is the Target Center. I'm glad they're at least letting people in, because it is bitterly cold outside. It is really, really bad. Not Rock Nation shall crumble. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let me read some of these super chat messages here. Ken Crayon Box says we back. Isaiah Video says, I know that's right, T. What's up, Isaiah? King Charles PVD says, never paid a bill faster. Love you, T. Love you, too. Thank you. Yesenia, what's up, sis? She said 199 says, pray with us, don't play with us. Amen. Amen. A trip down memory lane. Thank you, sis. Tiff J says T is protecting her peace all 2026. I am. Yeah, I know I'm dealing with real life or death situations here. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to my health. I don't have time for the nonsense. I'm not dealing with no low vibrational people and their nonsense. I'm out. As soon as you're not vibing with my spirit or my energy, I'm out. You know what I mean? So, new energy for all 2026. Looks like they're in the building now. Damn, they got the Target Center packed on the bottom floor. So they're going to do something. I think there's going to be some speeches from what I'm seeing on the screen. Let me go back to reading. Camille for real says, "A members only in the house." Rick Irv said 1999 says, stay safety and tea sippers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Lala Sanders. Hey sis. Says, "I love it here. Hey members, y'all hit the like again. Love you T. Love you too. Thank you." Marine Blue 2005 sent $2 says, "LOL, I know the paid membership model changed." Yeah, I did. I made two. So I made one for, 99 cents and then just the regular one where you have access to the deep dives and stuff. So I did that. The Age of Aquarius says, "Hey T, hope you can stay warm in this cold weather vortex. Longtime tea sipper. First super chat. Monday is my birthday. Aquarius gang." Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat and happy early birthday to you. Age of Aquarius, we are definitely in that. So thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Purper23 San 5 says, "ICE is pulling people over in Texas on Highway 195. Shake my head. I believe one tried to road rage with me and I was ready for whatever." Yeah, it is scary. It's nerve-wracking because, again, you don't know who these people are. They don't have to show identification. They don't have to show their face. Even driving on the road is so nerve-wracking now. People are pulling up on you as you're driving to the point where if you stop on your brakes, they'll hit you. This has been happening now the past 2 weeks here. I've never had people ride my ass in the way I've had my ass ridden in these past 2 weeks. Where like, you're just literally scared to go anywhere. Like my nervous system is so jacked up. Like even as we went to go see my son's best friends, they had their baby shower the weekend. So we all went to the baby shower, had a good time. So after the baby shower, I went to go see that Avatar movie, the one I was telling you about, Fire and Ash. And we went, and just going to the movies, it was so many police officers just sitting in the cut. But the whole time, just random cars riding your ass. And I know they're riding your ass to take your license plate. So it is scary what's going on. Even when I was talking to Kenya and RG that day and I was on my way to my hospital appointment because I had to go get blood work done. And I'm on 52 and this car was riding my ass. And there's nobody, somebody's riding slow in the fast lane, which I'm not. I'm doing the speed limit. You can just go around. He refused to go around. He just stayed on my ass. And I'm telling them, like, Kenya, this man is riding my ass and I don't know why. And they're just like, okay, just breathe. And then I finally got over and then he was just like, shoot. And he sped past me. But it was like he was trying to intimidate me. So I just, I made it to my doctor's, got my blood work, came home. So I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely running plates. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's saying the same thing. There's just random cars riding their ass. I don't care if you're coming from the grocery store, you'll just have a random car just on your ass. Like I said, they're so close that if you hit your brakes, they'll crash into you. Susie said, "Why did you create the $1.99 membership?" Actually, the membership I created was 99 cents. The $4.99 is my regular membership. That's for people who want the deep dive and the whole shebang. The 99 cent is for people who want to comment, you know what I'm saying, and be a part of the membership. They can only afford to comment. That's why I made two different tiers. This isn't about money. If I wanted money, I would just make my memberships 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 bucks, like a lot of these influencers do. It's not about money. I don't want the chaos. So if you feel bothered to pay 99 cents to comment, then go elsewhere. It's been too many people in here just trolling and being disrespectful over the past few weeks. So, but yeah, that's why I made it 2 different, because not everybody's here for like the deep dives and all that stuff. So I made a fair, just a fair 99 cent price. So. Mike said, I picked the $1 and then I seen the $4.99. I said, let me choose the $4.99. Thank you. I appreciate you. Mickey G 6921. Thank you. I appreciate you. But yeah, I just made it fair because like I said, it's not about money. That's why I just made a 99 cent option. So if they want to comment that bad, 99 cents. But most of them, they don't want to. They're not really here to support. They're just here to be agents of chaos. Somebody says Apple Pay charges $149 and $6.99. Oh, I don't know about that. All I know is I set it up for 99 cents and $4.99. So that's how it's set up on my back end. So if they're charging extra fees, I have nothing to do with that. I only set it up for 99 cents. So I don't know. Somebody said if you have Apple, they're going to charge you extra for everything. Okay, so that's maybe what it is. Yeah. That's all I've set up. Let me go to Channel 9 News, see if they're doing anything. They had some lazy streaming. They just had people sitting on the floor. I'm like, why are you not out there, Channel 9? They're just sitting on the floor, live streaming. Let me see if they're doing anything else right now. Minnesota. Because they keep saying they're live, but they're just showing people on the floor sitting in a room. Let me see if they're showing anything now.
We're expecting various speakers. I don't know if we know any of the identities of the speakers or a whole lot of details yet, but that remains to be seen. But I'm assuming that Fox 9 is going to bring that whole thing to you in full. And if not Fox 9 local or Fox 9 proper, then for sure the Fox 9 YouTube, absolutely.
That's right. That's right. And, of course, the Fox 9 News at 5 o'clock will have all of the events today covered wall to wall, and we're bringing you all the way up to the Fox 9 News at 5 o'clock. Again, this is a live shot at the stage inside the Target Center. We had a speaker come on about 20 minutes.
Okay, so it looks like Fox 9 has finally made it to the Target Center. Initially, they just had the camera on the floor, and people was just sitting on the floor like this. I'm like, what is this feed? Like, what are y'all doing? Get up. So it looks like they're in there now. Let's see here. Let me check what other ones are here. Let's see if Care 11's in here. Then I'm also trying to keep an eye on anything on the south side that's going on too. Let's see. That was yesterday. Shout out to everybody who's out here. For real. Like, it's so many people outside. I'll show y'all some more of my Instagram feed. I mean, wow. It's amazing to see, like, people really out there standing on business and being peaceful. Hold on, go on to the TikTok. Okay. So this is just So that's more people at the airport. Oh my God. This is by the Grain Belt building, by the Grain Belt Bridge and stuff. Damn. You can see the Grain Belt right back here. They are
Did they crash into him? We're not ice. We're not ice. You stay there for 20 minutes.
Literally live.
They said, okay, so what they're saying is that the scene after, and hold on, an ICE vehicle crashed and chemical agents were deployed on observers. Wow, look at the car.
We're raising our voices and resisting tyranny and authoritarianism.
If so cold, he got ice on his beard and mustache. Huh.
We're asking for airlines that are associated with abducting our neighbors here in Minnesota for them to end any contract they have with ICE. We want them out of our city and out of our state. We don't want them here.
We are seeding revolution, change, the seeds of beloved community.
Right now, downtown Minneapolis, negative 30 degrees, and this is only maybe 20% of the people.
That's the type of weather, when you go outside, it'll make it where your lungs just feel like they're about to explode. Like as soon as you breathe in, it's like, it takes your breath away if you don't have a scarf and all that stuff. So just bless all these people who are out here. Bless their hearts, man.
No stopping in the skyway.
Fuck you.
No taking pictures, no nothing.
Fuck you. You should have striked today, dumbass. Right now, downtown Minneapolis, negative 30 degrees, and this is only maybe 20% of the people.
You gotta love me this song. We'll be cool until you say some slick shit that we gonna let you know. Fuck you. So you should have been down there, dumbass. All right, let me go on to the next.
We have some serious news right now. ICE has detained a 2-year-old girl in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A court ordered her to immediately be released. Despite a court order, she was placed on a commercial flight alongside her father and sent to a detention center in Texas. This, according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. This is the 2-year-old girl that ICE detained. She was taken alongside her father and is in ICE custody. A federal judge shortly after her detention ordered her immediate release, according to her lawyers. Despite that, 20 minutes later, she was on a plane all the way to Texas to a detention facility. This is yet another example of ICE detaining a child, a toddler. This is serious, and people need to know about it. And it comes after ICE detained a 5-year-old boy in Minneapolis, also sending him to Texas before using him as bait to try to detain the rest of his family. Spread the word, because people need to know what's happening right now. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about on here, and on the link in my bio for my other platforms. We have some serious...
That we imagine the beloved community. This is just one among millions of steps.
So they arrested over 100 clergy and faith leaders. They arrested today at the airport. But like I said, they went to the airport to stand alongside, the protest, because the man came on the news yesterday and said that right now the airport is at risk of shutting down because some people are not there. They're not coming into work because they're scared. So they're doing the right thing and they're being arrested. This is crazy. People are texting me like, people can't see. It's members only. Yeah. Until we can figure out if they can let subs in, you know, like I said, this how it's gonna be today. Because I knew there'll be a lot of trolling and people saying slick shit. Let's see here. Okay, let me finish playing this.
That we imagine the beloved community. This is just one.
Here in the U.S. Border Patrol, I will say unequivocally that we are experts in dealing with children. Let me say that again, experts in dealing with children. Not because we want to be, but because we have to be. Here in the U.S. Border Patrol, I will say unequivocally that we are experts in dealing with children. Let me say that again, experts.
Video shows what appears to be federal agents detaining a corrections officer recruit in Portland, Maine. In the video, the man tells the agents he's coming from work and that he works for the government. The Cumberland County Sheriff confirmed the unidentified officer's detention during a press conference and says the recruit underwent a vigorous vetting and hiring process. The man is not a U.S. citizen, but his I-9 employment eligibility form indicated he was able to work in the U.S. until April 2029, according to the sheriff.
We covered our bases before we hired him.
But see, it's very interesting. This is what we've been saying is happening in Minnesota. Okay? And everybody thought we were exaggerating. We know we just want to be anarchists up here. But yeah, no, like it's happening all over at this point. It really is. Let me see here. Somebody said the chat is frozen. Is the chat freezing up? Somebody said it's frozen. I don't think it is. I don't know. No. I'm seeing the chat on my end. Yeah, it's literally only giving me an option for members. There's no subscriber option. And I just checked again thinking, well, I've been streaming for a while. It's still not an option to let subscribers in. So I don't know. I'm going to have to find out more. Okay, it's working. Okay. So we've been saying this for a while here, that they are pulling people over as long as you're black or brown, they do not care. The police did an interview the other day. The same thing now is happening in Maine. Again, people thought we're just over-exaggerating, we're doing too much. Now you see, that was in Maine, that wasn't Minnesota, because they've moved to Maine now with their, with all their stuff. Everything that they've been doing in Minnesota, they're now doing it in Maine. The police here said that they had several of their agents, their police officers, when they're off duty, they had been accosted. There was a black woman police officer was accosted and was about to be detained until she showed them the passport and paperwork, and they told her, we don't care. So then at that point, she was like, I'm a Minneapolis police officer, and I'm about to call the chief. So when she got ready to call the chief, that's when they backed up and they just ran off. No apology, no nothing. So if this is happening to people who are in law enforcement, who are citizens, what about regular people who don't have the chief's phone number? So for people thinking, you know, this is just a Minnesota thing, it is not. It's starting here, but it's starting to spread. That man that they picked up was a corrections officer who was able to work here. The sheriff says he's been vetted, and ICE still went after him. Why? Because he's a Latino or black. He's a person of color.
And it's me going out there saying that, you know what, I guess if you're not the card carrying, U.S. citizen, then he must be illegal, because that's what they told me is he's illegal. And he's definitely not a criminal. So what part of him is illegal? I don't know. Every indication we found is that this was a squeaky clean individual that really hadn't done anything at all.
CNN has reached out to DHS for comment, but has not.
His only crime is being a person of color. That's his only crime. So again, this is Portland, Maine. This isn't Minneapolis. This is coming to a city near you.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Jordan, step well.
We don't want to disappear that.
There's no reason to be that close.
My friend was tackled to the ground.
We don't want to. So we don't want to.
And somebody banged her head because they thought it was me. Okay? No, seriously. So I'm just asking you guys. I have a brain tumor. So I'm asking you to please treat me with dignity and respect. Okay?
That's all we want to do.
That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay?
We have put you in handcuffs.
Why?
That's the part. That's the policy. Sure.
Of course it is. Why are you recording this?
Right?
Why?
Just to make sure everything's.
Wait, hold on, sir. Before
You're under arrest.
I understand, but I'm asking, why is he recording this? I would ask that you not record. If it doesn't have to be, I don't want to be a trophy for MAGA. So I'm asking. Is it Department of Policy to record?
This is the black woman who was there with Don Lemon, Nakima Armstrong. Her and Shantae Allen had been detained. They were arrested yesterday. So there was a lot of protest on her behalf. This woman is a pillar of the community. At first, I didn't recognize her, but then I realized that was the lady that was there the day at the George Floyd when we went there before the riots kicked off, when it was peaceful that first day. She was one of the women speaking. It finally came back to me once I was able to put two and two together. So this woman has done a lot, especially in the black community. And I see people clowning her, saying it was none of her business. She should have sat home, this and that. This is what she does. She's an activist. She has looked out for a lot of people in the Minneapolis-St. Paul community. I just hope for all the people who just comment and say reckless shit on social media, I hope you never find yourself in a situation where you might need help from somebody, where you might need an activist. They're literally detaining her for interrupting a church service. Meanwhile, you have ICE going to schools and snatching people out, snatching folks out of church themselves. Do I agree with them going into the church? No, I would say wait until after, but that's the same with ICE. Why not wait until those parishioners come out and then arrest them? Why make a show of it? Why let the man get all the way on the Delta Airlines flight and then arrest him, make a show of it, as opposed to pulling him out of line in TSA and taking him to the back room? So she's locked up right now, looking at felony charges. This woman is a lawyer. She's not some, people are like, oh, she's probably some welfare queen. Why? Because she's black? The lady's a lawyer and a pastor as well. It's insane.
No! No! Stop!
Oh, that's that kid.
Stop!
So
We have some news right now. A legal advocate in Maine was recording ICE agents conducting enforcement activities when one ICE officer turned around, looked at her, and proceeded to say, quote, "We have a nice little database. Now you're considered a domestic terrorist." Don't believe me? Watch this video.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So.
It's a real video. All she was doing was videotaping ICE officers, and whether or not he was saying that real or not, he's saying that they have a database, and now the person videotaping, they took down her name, and now she's a, quote, domestic terrorist. I mean, we knew that ICE was collecting information in terms of surveillance and more, massively purchasing a large amount of equipment, and this is what happened as a result of it. Spread the word. Follow along for more on here and my other platforms, all linked in my bio.
We're gonna come back for your whole family, okay?
No, okay, no problem. Me van amenazando ahora. Me dicen que si yo no salgo van a regresar por mi familia y todos.
Folks, I have some disturbing breaking news to share out of Washington, D.C., where 7 Democrats just voted with Republicans to increase funding for ICE and for the Department of Homeland Security. That bill just passed. I'm going to give you the names of the 7 Democrats in just a moment, but understand that DHS has $60 billion plus more dollars now. $10 billion of that is going to ICE. Here are the names of the Democrats that broke from party ranks and supported the funding of ICE. Here we go. Jared Golden from Maine, Henry Cuellar from Texas, Marie Perez, Washington State, Tom Suozzi, New York, Don Davis, North Carolina, Lauren Gillen, New York, Vincent Gonzalez, Texas. That should pretty much guarantee that none of these Democrats return once their next elections arrive. These people have betrayed their oath. They've betrayed the country. We cannot be funding ICE. In fact, we should be abolishing ICE. That's a moderate position at this point, and every one of these Congress people should be held accountable. Leave a comment if you're represented by one of these individuals.
So at this point, this is why we say they're all feathers off of the same bird. I notice a lot of people saying, where's the Dems? Why aren't they doing anything? Maybe they're all in on it. You can't watch all of this stuff happening and just shrug your shoulders. At this point, there's nobody coming to protect anybody. You're on your own. It's showing you it's not about the people. It's about the money. They're going to go where the money resides. It's crazy. Yeah. And then there was another video. I don't know if y'all have seen the new TikTok. When you try and go on TikTok now, they want you to like agree to all these weird terms and stuff. I didn't click on it because I want to know what them terms are about. But they're saying that they're now hiring people from prisons and telling them that they'll expunge their records once they get out if they join ICE. There's a black man on TikTok who talked about it. Trying to see if I can find his video. I can't find the video, but it was online earlier. It's a black man. He's talking about it. And some of the people that they're offering positions to are really bad people with really bad criminal records. Is this him? Yeah, I found the video. Yeah, here it is.
What I'm about to tell you.
Okay, let me share the video. I found the video. It took me a while to search for it. Sorry. But I found it. Let me adjust my settings here. Yeah, this was just from the other day.
What I'm about to tell you should it should shock you. But then again, in the current state we're living in, maybe it won't. So I have a guy that I mentor to, and he's been in prison for some years. He went from a level 5, which is the worst one. He's in level 1. He's about to hit the streets. The debt to society is paid. And he's hit the streets in about 5 months. They are literally heavily recruiting inside the prison for ICE agents. Let me say that again. They are heavily recruiting inside the prison system for ICE agents. And here's the hook. Do you want to be a successful citizen when you return to the streets? Do you want to carry a gun? Do you want your right to carry a gun returned to you? Do you want to fight for the United States? Do you want to subvert all the damage that's being done by these undesirables? Well, then join ICE. Here's the thing about it. That literally goes against what they're saying. We want undesirables out. We want the people that have done bad. We want to get them out. You are recruiting in the prison. Let that sink in. But here's the real truth. It matters not who's in control as long as my Father is on the throne. So as always, get right or get left. The term, there's no atheists in foxholes, is going to have a new meaning real soon.
All right. So y'all just saw what that brother said. They are now recruiting prisoners, people who are set to be released. So I keep thinking back to like all like the childhood TV shows I watched in the 80s and 90s, like G.I. Joe, X-Men. And these scenes keep playing in my head. You know, like how Destro, you know, was trying to just destroy stuff, and you had the G.I. Joe. Or like the Sentinels. If you guys remember on Saturday morning cartoons, the Sentinels would go around detecting mutants. And if you had a mutant in your home, they'd rip the roof off your house and try and get your mutant child. So a lot of mutants had to hide and try to blend in. That's if you were lucky enough to look more human. But if you were a mutant who looked way more mutant or disfigured or, you know, they had to go underground. Remember there was that episode with the mutants that had to live underground in the sewers because they weren't able to really blend in with the humans? Like, I'm really thinking back to like a lot of the stuff that were being said on these TV shows. How everything is playing out now. Yeah, I was a big fan of X-Men cartoons. You can watch them and go back on Disney Plus. And I've gone back and rewatched them. And it's just like, wow. Even Bishop, Days of Futures Past. Go back and rewatch that episode. And how it's like all that came to pass during C-19. Yeah, the Murlocs. The ones that had to live underground because they were too, you know, they looked at too mutantish. Yeah. Predictive programming. And that's how I feel, because now that they're knocking and going door to door and they're talking to neighbors and all this stuff, that's how they did in the X-Men cartoons. And you want these huge 50-foot robots out of your neighborhood. So what happened? Neighbor turned against neighbor. I think such and such's child is a mutant. It's crazy, predictive programming, and now we're living in it. Somebody said Demolition Man too. Yeah, X-Men and G.I. Joe, especially when they would talk about like the New World Order in G.I. Joe and like the one world government and the crypto. Well, it wasn't called cryptocurrency back then, but they were talking about like, you know, one world currency. Because I remember finding that clip and I had put it in my Discord. Trying to see if I can find the video. One world currency. I don't want to watch the full episode. Okay, Cobra Commander. I don't even know if I can play it though. Damn.
I am pleased to announce.
Oh, this is 22 seconds long. I'm going to just play y'all the audio, so just listen to the audio. This is our cartoon that came out in like 1989 or some shit when we were babies. I'm going to just play the audio. I don't want to play the video, but just listen to the audio. This is Cobra Commander. Y'all can go find the full episode. Just listen to the audio.
I am pleased to announce Cobra's economic recovery plan. If you want money to buy food for your children, take all your valuables to the nearest branch of Extensive Enterprises. There, all goods will be exchanged for Cobra currency. I am pleased to...
Y'all clock that? Cobra Commander was a low-key visionary. He was talking about crypto and Bitcoin before we even knew what that was. These are the cartoons we grew up watching. So when I tell you like the PTSD that I'm dealing with, the shit that's like coming back to me, it's really like messing with my head. I can think of specific episodes that fit in what's going on today that I watched play out as a kid on Saturday morning cartoons. So when we were growing up, they didn't give us goofy cartoons like they give these kids now. You know, stuff with no point, just slop. We was really watching war, like you know, war propaganda. Red versus the blue. Remember when they shot their lasers, G.I. Joe was Team Blue, I believe. And then the Cobra and them, when they shot their lasers were red. Democrats, Republican. Yeah, hidden in plain sight. Yeah, Professor X and Magneto, they were definitely patterned after Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Because Magneto felt like we shouldn't be trying to be with the humans. Fuck them. They done ran our people underground. They're taking our people for experiments. They've killed a lot of our people with their robots. Why do we want to be friends with them? But Professor Xavier was more like Martin Luther King. Like, we need to find a way to be peaceful with the humans. You know what I'm saying? And they need to understand that we have these special powers, but that don't mean that we're here to harm them. Yeah, they were definitely... The whole X-Men, they were fictioned after the Civil Rights Movement. So again, black folks would create something and white folks were able to monetize it and create a whole, you know, no shade to Stan Lee. I know I'm a big Stan Lee fan. But he took the Civil Rights Movement, the issue between Martin and Malcolm, and he made a whole series off of it. And I love it. X-Men is one of my favorite cartoons. I can watch it till this day and I feel just as smart, and I'm finding things that that you don't get as a child. Like, I remember I watched an episode of Beast when I think it was when they were dealing with Lilandra and the starship, the Can. And Beast was like, this ship is sentient. I never heard that word until like 2022, 2023, when they started talking about the AI becoming more sentient. That word was in a 90s cartoon. The alien ship that they were in, he's like, I've never seen this before. Professor X, this ship is sentient. You're not going to pick that up as a third grader. But as an adult, I had to pause and rewind. Like they were really programming us and getting us ready to be able to deal with AI. Those ships were AI. Yeah. Let me see if they're at the if they're finally at the Target Center. Give me just a second here. Trying to see if they're talking or what's going on.
Overnight tonight, and then tomorrow.
Overnight is going to be negative 20. Oh, God. Let's see. Okay, he's not live anymore. Let's see if they started another stream. Okay, looks like he started another stream. Let's see. Ah, they're talking. So let's go watch. Let's see what they're talking. Okay.
Because in this moment, the truth is being twisted. Chaos is being created. And fear is being weaponized. And then come right to our city and blame us for it. I got news for them today that this is a gross miscalculation. Because lies only work when we divide it. But how many know that when we stand together, truth will arise every time? And we know this is not a battle against flesh and blood, but a spiritual battle against principalities and evil forces in high places. A spiritual battle against anything and anyone and any system that attempts to deny our love, our unity, and our peace with one another and with our God. This is a battle against the forces of division that want us to spend more time fighting about the problem than we spend solving the problems. So we come today with the spiritual power, believing that God is with us. And our unity and love for one another, y'all, this is how we fight. Our response must be different. We must not become what they are doing to us. We cannot overcome evil with evil, but we gotta overcome evil with our collective good. We must not become what they are doing to us. We are to be the one Minnesota that we are called to be. I read a sign out today that said, Minnesota nice is gonna break the ice. And we can walk confidently in that, knowing that God has already given us the victory. And that is why today is a day of prayer and fasting and truth and freedom, because truth matters. And the truth is that God is always on the side of the vulnerable over the empire. And we are making it clear today what side we are on. The side of love and joy and peace and faithfulness and gentleness and kindness and patience and self-control and what is right in the eyesight of our Almighty God. Because I want to tell you today that we are on the winning side today in the face of darkness. And in the midst of being enslaved, in the midst of being beaten and murdered and imprisoned and marginalized, I hear the songs of my forefathers not waiting for victory to show up, but boldly claiming what God already has given to them. I can hear the songs that come, the melodies that come out of their voice that say, victory is mine, victory is mine, victory today is mine. I told Satan, get thee behind, because victory today is mine. And the more we stay close to victory. So today, let God arise in justice. Let God arise through unity. Let God arise in peace. Let God arise in love. And let God arise in the people of Minnesota who refuse to be divided. And let God arise and get ICE out of Minnesota. Come on, say it with me. We are better together. We are better together. Amen.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute it. Let's see. Oh, let's see. The imam's here.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. My name is Imam Yusuf Abdullah. I'm the Executive Director of Islamic Association of North America. First, I will start with recitation of the Quran.
Let me come back on the screen. Guys, I'm gonna keep an eye out and see if like the mayor or anybody comes on and says anything else. But like I said, you know, this is about peace and unity. It's about, you know, bringing people together. And like I've always told you guys, especially my audience, like I have a wide audience, young, old, black, white, Latino, gay, straight, you know. And one thing I've learned over the years from just talking to so many different people that have just, you know, that God has allowed into my path and vice versa, is that at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. You know, people just want peace in their life. People don't want a whole bunch of drama. We want to be able to work, take care of our families, make sure our kids are good. They're able to live in a safe space and have food in the refrigerator and things like that. We don't want a whole lot. Maybe go on vacation once a year. And I just hate the fact that one thing that this entire presidency has caused that I've seen is just this huge division. The haves and the have-nots. I'm better than them because this, and that. Yesterday I did a video about people who are literally crashing out. You have racists who are now trying to find a reason why they're not where they need to be in life. And they're going up to random black people. They've been so emboldened now. They're calling folks the N-words and stalking people and all this other stuff. It is insane. It's like we're living in a world that I don't even recognize anymore. And the thing that they don't understand is while you're sitting here being divisive and trying to create all this friction with people, that's not going to make your bank account any bigger. That's not going to make the billionaire class give a fuck about you. That man, Michael Todor, who, you know, went and harassed that African woman, you think Elon Musk is about to cut him a check and help him get off his bootstraps? Or do you think Elon Musk is going to look at him like he's just a dusty white? He's not like us. So people need to grow up and understand, like, this whole divisive shit that people are perpetuating on social media is disgusting. And I want no parts of it. You know, people thinking that, you know, oh, that don't got nothing to do with me. Okay. They can show you better than they can tell you. We have black women up here who are police officers who are getting accosted. We have black people who I know for a fact getting pulled over simply because they're driving pickup trucks. For no other reason. And now we see the same thing happening in Maine. So I'll just say this. I just feel like if you are a person of color, you need to be very, very careful out here. Because folks are on one. And they're fanning these flames of like division and drama and just the recklessness that's happening. Let me see if I can find the video here. Can't be fooled. Operations. It was huge dialogue that's happening. Trying to find the one where he's talking about this the one? Oh, yeah, this is the one while they're off duty. Let me show y'all this video here. Give me just a second. I have to hit refresh. Because everything on YouTube is saying content isn't available for some strange reason. Very weird. Okay. Let me... Alright. Fix this a bit. Okay. So let me go ahead and play his video. Oh, it's mute. Hold on.
Endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally. We started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. One particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, preventing her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day.
So that is what is happening up here. So this is why I'm doing these streams. You know, one thing that y'all did tell me that made me feel better yesterday, because like I said, I was overwhelmed because people were asking, like, are you coming to the protest? Are you gonna? And you guys, people in the Discord know what I'm going through health-wise. I can't do it. I can't risk my health. I'm going through very serious shit health-wise. So I remember somebody said in Discord, like, you are helping. Just you keeping us informed. You doing these live streams. You keeping us up to date. Because we know what's happening in your state is going to eventually trickle to the rest of these states. Like, you are helping. Everybody's not meant to be out on the ground. Everybody's not meant to be out in the cold for whatever reason. So that really made me feel better, you know? So I'm glad that I'm able to just share with you guys here from the safety of my home, you know, what's going on in the city, you know, because, yeah, it's scary. It just really is. I mean, you have people dying in ICE custody. It's cold. The conditions are just abysmal. It's so sad what's going on, you know, and like I said, to know, like, people are getting phone calls in the middle of the night just looking for help. I have friends who have not been paid and going on 3 weeks because supposedly they're looking for all this Somali fraud, even though half of the Somalian fraudsters have already been arrested. But they've cut off all federal funding to this state. People who work with people with disabilities, their hours have been cut severely. Oh, there's no overtime. So if there's no overtime, what is the incentive for somebody to come and work and take care of your loved one who might be a disabled person living at one of these disability homes? I have friends who work, again, at DHS. They haven't been paid, going on 3 weeks, because they were told, well, y'all are just going to have to wait. They have no idea when they'll be paid again. They're looking for fraud. Friends who work at daycares, legitimate daycares, with real children in them, are not being paid. Because why? The daycare vouchers are no longer available to the parents. Daycare assistance has been cut off in Minnesota. These parents can't afford to pay $1,000 a week. That's why they had daycare assistance. That's all been cut off. So if we're not getting our daycare assistance money, as the daycare owner who needs to keep the lights on, pay the water bill, etc., how can I pay my staff? You have daycare owners taking out loans just to pay their staff. That was cool the first week. It's week 3. I've helped where I can help financially, but I'm also only one person. So it is a lot. This has had a major trickle-down effect. They've now started to come into the schools. My teacher friends, they have been doing drives for the past 2 weeks to collect foods. So all the students who have stopped coming to school, especially in Minneapolis, they've stopped all Minneapolis public schools. So Minneapolis schools are completely online. St. Paul was optional. But what happened is that a lot of these kids are no longer going to school because they're scared. We just seen that little boy get chased down. The boy was saying in Spanish that he's a citizen. I found out later that's what he was saying in Spanish. They didn't care about that. So these kids are terrified to come to school because they don't want to end up getting caught by ICE simply because they're Latino or they're black. My friend says the school doesn't even feel the same. Over half of the minority students are gone. The only people that are left coming to school are the white kids. And they're sad, they're depressed because why? These are their friends. These are their students, their schoolmates. The schools don't even feel the same. So what's been happening now, the teachers have been asking everybody, okay, well, let's do a food drive because these people are literally stuck in the house. They're scared to leave. So people have been collecting food. And so then what they were doing was going to people's homes, bringing them food. Well, then once ICE started coming, knocking on people's doors, people got scared because now they're not opening their doors. So they said, okay, fine. Since they're scared, start sending family members of yours who are not scared to come to the school and pick up the food. Well, what ICE did yesterday, they started coming in plain clothes, acting like they're bringing food to these drives and got to arresting people. They stopped a school bus yesterday and accosted the children. Luckily, the school bus driver was able to stop it and get them off the school bus. So kids are not even safe going to and from school. So these are not over-exaggerations. These are not people looking for clout on social media. These are stories that I'm getting from people that I personally know who have no reason to fucking lie. People I've known 10, 15, 20 plus years. So it's not a joke. It's not funny. You're talking about people's real lives, people's real money. People are at the point where they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do next month. I have no money to pay my rent. And there's no end in sight as to when they will get any type of payment. And let's not forget, it's about to be January 30th. For y'all who don't know, we've talked about this in Discord. They're talking about another government shutdown. Are y'all aware of that? And you already have 7 Democrats co-signing this. So what's going to happen with that health bill that's been in limbo? I'm going to read these last few super chats. I've been on here for an hour and a half. I'm not going to stay long. But yeah, it is. It's a lot going on. It is a lot going on. Oh, man. Lala Sanders. Hey, girl. She says, I love it here, T. Hey, members. Hit the like button, y'all. I love you, T. I love you too, sis. Thank you. Thank you so much. Marine Blue 2005 sent $2, says, LOL, I didn't know the paid membership model changed. It did. It did. We had to clean up house. It's been a lot of just low vibrational stuff in the chat these past few weeks, especially with the topics that I'm hitting on. It's been too much. And when I have mods calling me and they're upset about what's going on, because like I said, I don't see everything. You know, I may catch a few things here and there, but I'm not in the chat. I'm running the show. So it's just like, you know what? And then, you know, they take screenshots. We go to these people's profiles. They're not even subscribed to my channel. So fuck is you doing here? But got so much mouth. So this is how we're moving in 2026. Let's see here. Khadijah says, thank God for your friend T. Amen. Yeah, I was really proud of him when he said his husband got up and he went straight over there and had to calm them down and just, you know, really be there for them. He went above and beyond his job description. But like I told him, I said, that's how you use your whiteness. Being an ally for other people. You know, we know you're not going to get stopped. Blonde hair, blue eyed. So I appreciate all these white folks who are out there. They don't have to be. They're not the ones necessarily getting harassed. They're out there taking rubber bullets. They're getting hit with green grenade shit that makes green smoke that people are saying is cancer causing. They're really putting themselves out there for something that doesn't necessarily affect them per se. That says a lot. Let's see here. King Lueck says, I think I read that. Okay, that you've been getting pulled over by ICE. I did read that one. Adelaide McKenzie sent 10. Says, I'll be back in the playback. Just in rehearsal. Wrap it up, guys. Love you from London. Thank you for the super chat, sis. Lowski Low says, T, you fine as fuck, man. Oh. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the $9.99 as well. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you. Rose Marin sent $1.99, says $1.49 is very reasonable. T respects us for real. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. Like I said it at 99 cents. I guess Apple needs to get their cut or something. But yeah, I sent it low. So it's not like I'm sitting here trying to say, oh, you can't comment unless you're paying me $50 a month. No, I would never do that. But, you know, a lot of people who are agents of chaos, they're not going to pay. So it's weeding all those people out. So goodbye and good riddance. And again, that's not to everybody who can't pay, but the ones who are stirring trouble is who I'm talking about. So not to people who are struggling or going through it. I'm talking about the ones who are purposely in there to be agents of chaos. So, what are you going to do over there? Sent $5, says, hey T, love your channel and all that you do. What didn't you like about Austin and Houston, Texas? I'm not a fan of either. I'm just curious what you thought. Okay. Texas. Okay, Austin, I would say this. Austin is cute, right? It's very weird and quirky. You know, me and Janice had a cool time there. It was South by Southwest. They have a lot of really nice clubs. Like y'all's clubs are modern. They're really pretty. My issue with Austin, it just seemed like people are just boring. The places we went. It's like even when we were in the club, they were just on their phone. Like nobody's mixing and mingling. Everybody's just on their phone. I'm like, damn, this ambiance is beautiful. Like I would do a tea event here. Just, everybody's just sitting there. So I didn't like that. Houston was doing too much. The vibe I got from Houston is they want to be like Atlanta, and Atlanta they are not. We went down that real popular street where the turkey leg hut was. Just to like go to a club, brunch. They charge an arm and a leg for everything. Before you even get in the club, $30 to park. Okay. Then you get in the club. Usually women are free before a certain time. They're charging women, they're charging men. Then we went into one club. It was buy your own liquor. It was some type of weird shit where you buy your own bottle. It wasn't where you could get like cups of liquor. You had to buy a bottle. So basically forcing you to buy a section. We left. Now, we ended up going to an after hours spot They did have some good fish. Some type of lemon pepper. I don't know what type of crack they put on that fish, but that's probably the best thing I had in Houston. It was at some after-hour spot. There's a long line outside. To get into the after-hour spot, another $40. So we just pay it, we go in. Everybody is in there on their phone or stunting for social media. Oh, I got a section. Hey. No one dancing. We spent more money to get into clubs and do stuff. And then some clubs you walk up to, they want you on a guest list. It's Memorial Day weekend. We're here on vacation. What fucking guest list are you talking about? Usually just walk up to the club and get in line. Oh, you're not on the guest list. You got to RSVP. I said, never again. I'm good. I didn't like Houston at all. I met some cool people. You know, there's some cool people that we met that were friendly, but it's the price gouging for me. The unnecessary price gouging. So that's why I didn't like Houston. I think maybe if I would have went with some people who are from Houston who could take me around. But then again, you know, I don't even think I should have to do that. I should be like a Keith Lee, right? You should just be able to show up, and the same service I get as an influencer is the same service you guys should get as people who are not influencers. Because I never go into a situation like, oh, I'm Lovely T. No. I'm in line with everybody else. Now, if you recognize me, you want to, you know, move me up, hey, don't threaten me with a good time. But I'm never going to come in leading with what I do. But just the attitudes, the people were just rude. Like some of the people at the club, like just rude. So to me, it was just too much. Too much. I didn't like the vibe. And maybe because it was Memorial Day weekend, so they were trying hard to, you know, get people for their money. I don't know. But I remember that day we went to a few different spots, lines wrapped around the corner. We get in line. They're like, are you on the guest list? What guest list? Oh, if you're not on the guest list, you might as well jump up out of line. I'm like, damn, it's like that, Houston? Okay, cool. Next. But I do want to come to Dallas. I do. And I have friends in Dallas. I'm not going to knock in the entire state of Texas, right? That's a big state. So I do want to go to Dallas. But I wasn't impressed by Houston. The food was okay, but I just wasn't impressed. Tennessee, Nashville. That's why one of my favorite spots outside of Atlanta. Nashville reminded me of how we used to kick it in the 2000s when I used to go clubbing. Going in and out of the different clubs. You don't have to pay anything. They just simply make money off of the drinks. They give you free waters. I didn't have to pay for no water in Nashville because I don't drink. Can I get a water? Oh, yeah, sure, hun. Here go a cup of water. Let me ask for a water in Atlanta or anywhere else. $5. I loved 6th Street in Nashville. A vibe. A vibe. The fact that you can go in and out, that's how it used to be back in the day. A cover charge, what's that? You made money off of the drinks. Or if you did charge a cover, it was after a certain time. Ladies free before midnight. Or ladies free before 10. And even then, the cover charge was reasonable. $5, maybe $10. Now it's $40? $30 to park? Nah. And this is why a lot of people don't go clubbing anymore. Before you even get in the door, you've come out of pocket. Yeah, the tea sippers, when I tell you we ran Nashville. Oh, we had a ball at the Millie Party. Oh, we're going to do a Millie Party 2.0. Trust and believe. When all this shit eventually dies down, we're going to have to do a 2.0. Nashville don't owe me nothing. I had a wonderful time out there. It was a vibe. It was so much so white folks was coming up to us like, oh my gosh, what is this? Everybody's dressed in 90s. When we did the cowboy thing, when we went to the other speakeasy at the Cowboy Day, it was so many white folks coming up to us, wanting to take pictures. They loved our outfits. We showed out. We had such a good time in Nashville. Such a good time. So yeah, you know, maybe I'll try Houston again in the future, but it'll have to be with people who know their way around. I just didn't like it. It was just they just want your money. And then, like I said, by the time you're even able to get into these clubs, if they let you into the club, there's nothing shaking. Everybody's just on their phones. So, yeah. I hope that information helped you. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Miss Anama 2325 sent $9.99, says, thank you for going live on my birthday, Aquarius gang. You are so welcome. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you. Okay, Dyson. He sent $4.99, says, sending some birthday Eve's love. I'm turning 28 tomorrow. Shout out to all the Aquarians. Man, happy early birthday to you. Thank you for being a part of the Discord for the past 5 years. We can't wait till midnight. You know, we're going to go hard on your birthday. That birthday bot about to be like, happy birthday, Dyson. So y'all make sure y'all show him love in the Discord when the birthday bot goes off at midnight. We got a birthday bot in there. So happy early birthday to you. And 28, man, that's a blessing. You're still a baby to me. Okay? So enjoy your 20s. You're not old. You're not over the hill. You know what I mean? You still got a lot of life left. So enjoy it. Happy early birthday. Let's see here. Letty Boo sent $1. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ruth sent $2. Thank you, sis. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Erenjair sent 5, says, finally caught a live. I've been a tea sipper since 2018. I legit had to pay for a membership because I could not live without teas lives, for real. Love you. Love you too, and thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Miss B sent 5100. Oh no, Miss B 5100 sent $49.99. Says, T, you're beautiful. Every time I get in the Discord, I become overwhelmed and confused. Anyways, I trust and love watching your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, it takes a while to kind of get the hang of the Discord because we have so many rooms and a lot going on. But you know, once you just find like rooms that you particularly like or where there's a lot of action, it's very fun. You know. Just got to get to know people. People in there are very friendly and stuff like that. But I enjoy it. I love all the newbies coming in there. Y'all have just been a delight. Y'all have fit right in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be in there with y'all's popcorn, honey. So I know I love seeing like the different gifts and the different memes that people come up with in Discord. So it's a family. You know what I mean? We've been around for 5 years now. It's a family. So yeah, I love it. Let's see here. Limited Reach says, T, only members can watch the live. It kicked people out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was supposed to. I assumed that they could watch it. They just couldn't comment. So I don't know. I'm going to talk to my YouTube manager so they can explain to me the ins and outs. Maybe, what's his name? I Show Speed has like a special thing because I wasn't subscribed to him and I was able to watch his stream. And then he would go from subscribers only commenting to members. So then when he was allowing subscribers to comment, then I subscribed and I told him happy birthday. And then they switched it back to members only comment. So maybe he has different functions. When I look at mine, it just says members only. That's all it says on mine. So I don't know. But honestly, I like this vibe, to tell you the truth. I like this vibe. Let's see here. Honestly, T2826 sent $20. Said, I tried sending 3 messages with words and God, but those were automatically deleted. And the bind send button is grayed out. Wow. It just shows you who's running these social medias. You can't even put, she had to literally put a space in between the word God. That's crazy. Thank you so much for the super chat, sis. Moonlight BB sent $1.99, says, Central Valley is flooded by ice. Very scary. Central Valley, California. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, I'm I'm seeing some videos. Oh, this is a 2-year-old boy. Okay, there's been an update 16 minutes ago about the 5-year-old detainee. Let's watch this real quick. I know I'm supposed to leave up out of here, but I've been waiting for
experts, but
baby. Okay, this was 16 minutes ago. There's an update on the 5-year-old that was taken yesterday. Let me, hold on.
both Border Patrol and ICE in dealing with immigration cases that involve children. Probably the most experienced anywhere in the United States by any domestic law enforcement agency.
That, of course, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino sharing new details about the 5-year-old who was detained by ICE with his father in Texas. At a press conference this morning, Homeland Security officials maintain they did not target the child and they were only looking for the father. They also say the boy is in the least restrictive setting possible, again with his father, but still at an ICE facility. Our Lou Ragoose joins us now with even more of an update tonight. Lou?
Jennifer, Columbia Heights school officials told us yesterday ICE was following parents and kids home after school pickup. They say ICE officials were using the boy then as bait to try to arrest the boy's mother as well.
Remember I told you they were going in undercover at the after school pickups and doing the same thing for the people who were doing the food drives for the families. So they were using that boy as bait because there's video that people recorded on the scene of them having the little boy in his hat and gloves and saying, go knock on the door, tell your mom to come out. And the daddy's yelling, close the door, don't open. I don't know, he's talking in Spanish, but he's telling the people, do not open the door.
While ICE officials say they tried to return to the boy to his mom, but that no one would take him. The image of 5-year-old Liam Ramos being detained by ICE officers has become one of the latest examples sparking outrage over the federal agents' tactics. But the ICE Assistant Director of Enforcement and Removal Operations disputes that narrative.
Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle.
Marco Charles says the ICE officers cared for the boy, first trying to bring him to the house.
My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door.
Where's your humanity?
Others who witnessed that say the officers were trying to use the boy as bait in order to try to arrest the mother as well.
Mom was there. She saw out the window and Dad was yelling, please do not open the door. Don't open the door.
Fortunately, Conejo Arias eventually requested that his child stay with him. We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together to Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing, and now they are being well cared for at a family residential center.
Charles says
Notice how he's stuttering. He can't even get his lies straight. My thing is, why not leave the child with the neighbors? There were neighbors right there saying, leave the child. We'll take him. Just leave him with us, and they were refusing.
Was a targeted operation to arrest Liam's father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias. When asked what he was being targeted for, ICE officials said it was for being in the country illegally. The family's attorney disputes that, saying the family entered the country at a port of entry legally and are in the process of seeking asylum. Liam's mother has not been arrested. ICE officials call the facility in Texas where Liam and his father are being held as the least restrictive facility. Jennifer.
So if mom hasn't been arrested, do we know where she is tonight?
Presumably still here in the Twin Cities.
At the house, even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Lou.
Yep.
Experts.
But why is the boy in Texas, though? Again, why not just let him go? Or have a family member come and why ship him down to Texas with the father? So they can't even keep their lies straight at this point. It's crazy. Let me keep reading here. Mucha Dinera 2308 cent 9.99 says, T looking gorgeous. The turn up is real all 2026. My dad's birthday is today. He made it to 72. Amen. That's such a blessing. YT's on their censorship BS, like always. So thank you for the super chat, sis. I appreciate you. Kitty Cobra sent $1.99. Thank you so much. Dexter Davis says, so basically people have to start walking around with their freedom papers. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Common Free says, testing out the super chats because YouTube wants to play Overlord with what I can say. Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much. Ra M. King sent $9.99, says, love you, T. Been a tea sipper since your crime reporting days with the curly natural hair. I hope they don't turn this protest into violence, giving Trump the scapegoat for another form of retaliation. Amen. You know, nobody's on that here. Nobody, wants that. They just want life to return back to normal. They want people to be able to go to work and take care of their businesses. And, people want to start who work for the, who get federal assistance at their job, like daycare workers, DHS workers, they want to get paid. You have doctors and nurses who are not speaking out because ICE is not going into hospitals and detaining people and telling doctors and nurses, if you do anything, you'll be arrested. So it's having an effect now on our healthcare system. Yeah, they had a whole physician conversation, 30 minutes, press conference. Let me see if I can find a short clip. I mean, they're getting people in ICU, handcuffing them and taking them out. People about to undergo surgery. Here's a short clip. I don't know what this one is about. We'll watch it real quick. Give me just a second. Because it's like a 30-minute video. If y'all want to watch any of these videos, you guys can watch them once I get off the stream. But yeah, you have doctors and nurses, coming together to speak about what's happening in the hospitals. You have people who work at the airports coming together to speak about what's happening. The police officers. This is affecting our everyday life here. Let me fix this real quick. Okay.
And when we look at the nurses, at the healthcare assistants, and at the physicians, many of us are also from backgrounds that are actively being harmed by the campaign of racial profiling and hate that ICE is perpetrating. So yeah, our staff are really worried, and it's incumbent on all of us to, one, protect our staff and protect our patients too. So I would say morale is down. And I would say, yeah, I think especially with these people who did show up every day of COVID, who showed up after Annunciation, and there was a shooting at where many young people came to my hospital, who've really shown up day after day, taking care of their communities, to then see themselves and their family members at risk of being detained and their children separated from their families. Yeah, I would say morale is low. Okay, yeah.
So that's just a snippet of what they were talking about yesterday. So doctors and nurses getting pulled over simply because, you guys see all the faces. Yeah, there's whites, but there's Asians. We have a wide range of races up here in Minnesota. So doctors and nurses are not even able to go do their job because they're getting pulled over by ICE. Some have been detained. Patients being drug out of ICU. Let's see here. So, thank you, Ra. Appreciate you for the super chat. Week of Yo 333 sent $4.99 says, we got brochures of what to do if ICE came to our college in San Francisco. It's low key like a school shooting. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I just feel so bad for the young people, because how do you even wrap your mind around this? What's going on? This is sad. Let me... Tilo997 says, I feel special, members only. This is nice. My birthday is Sunday. There's a lot of Aquarius in the house. Okay, happy birthday. Happy early birthday to you. We got a lot of Aquarius in the building. Let's see here. Olu7 Grub says, these people are wicked, oh. They are. I agree 100%. Wows5009 sent 999 says, I saw the new TikTok terms and deleted the app immediately. I'm not agreeing to shit. They can keep it. Yeah, those new terms are they're insane. So a lot of my TikTokers that I'm following, I'm just going to have to find them on Instagram at this point because, yeah, that's insane. Geo-tracking? Are you freaking serious? It's crazy. Common Free said these ICE officers feel powerful now, but the same rod they use to torment families and traumatize children will come back to bite. It always does, and they will have the audacity to act confused and ask why. Thank you for the super chat. Regina Sanders says, much love to you and your family. Stay safe, my good sis. I can't believe we're actually living in the new world order. The atmosphere has shifted. It has. It really has. Melanin Queen, hey sis. She says, no one does predictive programming quite like The Simpsons. More situations have manifested themselves from that program alone. Scary. That is so true. That is true. Victoria Marie sent 999 says, lovely T, can you pray for me to stop drinking alcohol soon? I'm a big fan of yours and I always look forward to your streams. I'd rather watch you over the news. Love you. Wow. We can definitely keep you in prayer. You know, I pray that you're able to leave the spirit of alcohol alone, especially going into this new year. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be for the best. So I would definitely keep you in prayer. The fact that you're being honest with yourself and saying that you need help to get off of liquor, that's like the first step right there. The fact that you're realizing that, you know, this has a hold of me. I would also say, if you need to, also seek Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, people who specialize in helping people kick habits and things like that. You know, your church, things like that. So you have like an accountability partner. So I wish you the best, and I just, you know, hope that you're able to get away from the alcohol and be the best you that you can be. But the fact that you're admitting to there being a problem is the first step. Because you have folks who swear up and down they can handle it and there's nothing wrong. You know, we've all been there with vices and things that we've gone through, so don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed. So thank you for just being open and honest. We'll definitely keep you in prayer. Yeah, it's a lot. You know, people are going through it. People are going through a lot. You know, this situation is causing stress. And with the stress, you know, that brings on alcohol. That brings on drugs. There's divorce rates are going up. There's a lot of white women on TikTok talking about they want to divorce their husbands because why are the white women on the front lines? And the husbands are being dismissive of what happened to Renee Good. So all of the stuff that's going around is purposely. It's being done on purpose to once again to divide, to cause conquer, to divide and conquer, to cause chaos, excuse me. It's another form of energy harvesting. People being stressed, depressed, leaning towards drugs, alcohol. They know what they're doing. When you have doctors and nurses talking about their low morale, their stress and anxiety, we need doctors and nurses to be in tip-top shape. I deal with medical issues. I don't want my doctor coming in with low morale, because when you're coming in with low morale and your mind is where it's not supposed to be, that's when mistakes happen. That's when people may get the wrong medication or get too much medication. These people are human too. If the police officers are having low morale and they're walking on eggshells because of what's going on with ICE, how can they police properly? They can't. Just like what's happening at the airports. Because the staff are so scared about getting detained and pulled over, because at this point they don't care. You show them an ID, they don't care. How can they then have their mind focused on de-icing a plane when they're thinking about, will I make it home from work when I leave work today? So yeah, a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff right now. So just stay strong and definitely get the help that you need. Let's see here. What are you doing over there? Says T, is it too late to join the Discord? Right now the Discord is closed. You know, we've let in a few people via email, but as far as like it being open, it's closed right now. And one thing about the Discord, I don't want a whole lot of people in there. I've always tried to keep it at a certain amount, just because it is very intimate. It's really like family. That's one thing that newbies will tell you. It is like family. And we're not going to allow people to come in and be agents of chaos. And I don't care who you are. If you're bringing chaos to my Discord, you got to go. You know, so it's a place that I really protect, you know. But, you know, send an email and we'll see. Rejoice is the one handling the emails, so. Let's see here. Annie Zeno sent $1.99, says, hey T, I live in Minneapolis, sending love. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. I love the bright red hair in your profile picture. Stay safe and stay strong. I know Minneapolis is going through it. I haven't been able to see my mother-in-law in almost 3 weeks. I've been back from South Carolina. I was supposed to go to South Carolina because Michael, Luther's boy from the Discord, before we left South Carolina, because I was trying to get a sweetgrass basket. We seen some, but they were outrageous. So he ended up going to St. John's Island and came back with like a bouquet of roses for me, you know, sweetgrass roses. And my mother-in-law asked me if I could bring her back something sweetgrass. And so I'm like, this is perfect. He got one for all the girls, but he gave me a bouquet. So I had 2 flowers for her. I gave 2 to my mom, and I got the rest in my little vase. I haven't been able to give it to her because she's right there over south in the heart of everything. She don't even live the house like that. And she's not a person of color at all. She's like, it's too much. It's too much going on out here. She's dealing with, you know, health issues and everything else. It's like the kids want to go see their grandma, but it's almost like it's so much going on in Minneapolis right now. Everybody's just scared. So just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Let's see here. DIY Arts and Home with Luna. Set 1999 says TikTok has a new privacy agreement pop up. I'm not going to use it because the president will probably go after them or harass people that don't align with his views. Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they seen that pop up, they're like, hold up. And you can't opt out of it because a few people accidentally agreed to it and it won't let them opt out. So when I seen that pop up, I just was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to have to find these folks via Instagram or Red Note. Seems like I'm going to have to spark up my old Red Note account and find my faves on there. So, another form of censorship. Always Nia sent, Always Nia 19 said, thank you for keeping us informed on what's happening in your community. I know it's not easy. We really appreciate it. Praying for everyone. You're so welcome and thank you. I appreciate you receiving the information. Roan Red 555 sent $50, says this might be off topic, but I found out today one of the few Black-owned beauty stores in my area is closing, partially because products from the U.S. are too expensive to ship due to tariffs. I really hope we can all make it through this. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, too, sis. I appreciate you. It's a lot of businesses going down, unfortunately, in 2026. This is having a major effect on a lot of people. The tariffs, And like I told you guys, what people don't understand, with people that I've spoken to who normally work at the ports and the shipping, you know, when we receive stuff, we haven't received anything since before the tariffs were put in place this past spring and summer. So everything that we have currently in stock in America is what we have in stock. We haven't been receiving new goods and new this and new that. Yeah. Somebody says, is T married? No, y'all. I'm not married. I still call her my mother-in-law. That's my ex-husband's mom. She's known me since I was literally 14. That will always be my mother-in-law. I'm sorry, everybody's like, damn, T, when you get married? No, he's with somebody else. She still calls me her daughter-in-law. I don't call her my kids' grandmother. That's still my mother-in-law. She will always be my mother-in-law. Yeah, I didn't get remarried. Yeah. No, she's known me. I'm the first and principal wife, okay? She's known me since I was 14, so. Just like his nieces and nephews, they still call me auntie. They don't play about me. As grown as they are, you know, still auntie. I've been around. Remember the one nephew I locked up his hair? Trey? Trey is what, 31 now? I've been knowing Trey since he was 4 years old. That's how long I've been a part of my ex-husband's family. We were teenage boyfriend, girlfriend. Yeah. So, just because you get divorced don't mean that you necessarily divorce your in-laws. You know what I'm saying? My mother-in-law can call me right now and ask me for anything. And she can get it for me. She was like, T, I need a new couch set. I've had this couch for like 10 years and I need to be able to lay down and be comfortable. She was like, do you think you can borrow me the money? Girl, I'm free this weekend. Furniture shopping, we go. Drop $3,000. That's still my mother. That's my second mom. That lady looked out for me when I was homeless, when my mom put me out, when I got pregnant, took care of my boys, helped me with my kids. She knows she can get anything out of me. So when the mother-in-law is still cool with the daughter-in-law, that says a lot about the daughter-in-law. So, yeah. I didn't get remarried. That's my ex-husband's mom. We're like this. So, yeah. You know, and, I still, you know, like I said, normally I would have been over there to, you know, I've talked to her on the phone like every other day, but, you know, it's just not safe right now to just be over south if you don't need to be over there. And she's told me just, you know, when you see me, don't worry about the sweetgrass roses, you know. You'll eventually get it over to me. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my mommy right there. AG says, I pray for this when I'm married. Amen. And you will have that, you know. So, yeah. You know, it's going to be very interesting for if I ever end up getting married again, how the new mother-in-law will, you know, feel. I'm going to just have two mother-in-laws, I guess. But yeah, I will always call her my mother-in-law. So, yeah. And it's so funny because like when we meet up, she still calls me her daughter-in-law, but the person that her son is with, she says that's her son's wife, you know? So that's just how much, you know, me and her rock with each other. So, yeah. Yeah, somebody said great mother-in-laws are very rare. Yeah. And that's one thing I've always loved about her. Like, even when we were going through everything, her son was in the wrong. She was like, right is right, wrong is wrong. That's my son, but he's out of pocket, the shit that he's doing. She didn't side with him just because it was her son. So I will always respect her for that. Because you have a lot of women who their son can do no wrong and that's my baby, and she never did that. You know? Yeah. Dexter Davis says, I had a time in Nashville. I know that's right. We had a good time. Nashville was lit. That was like just the funnest thing, man. I miss Nashville so much. Those were some fun times. Big Ant, Sin 49 says, praying for you. Be safe. No setbacks this year. Pray for Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Definitely. Yeah, they'll be, Wisconsin's right over the border. They'll be coming over there soon. It's crazy. Roan Red says I think I read that. Okay, yep, I did. Kiana says, prayers to everyone. I'm deeply saddened for all that's going on and the amount of injustice that's happening. Stay prayed up. All we got is God. Amen. Amen. Ladybug says, Ice might be at the Super Bowl because of Bad Bunny. It's crazy. Miss Anonyma 2325 says, Aquarius and Leos are sister signs. We dig each other's vibe and individuality. Okay. I don't know many Aquariuses. I know James from Telegraph. He's an Aquarius. And I love me some James. But I don't know. I don't know a lot of Aquariuses. But I've never had no issues with Aquariuses. It's always them damn Pisces. Always. But the Aquariuses, the few I've met, have been cool. So I'm gonna have to look into that. I didn't know Aquarius were sister signs. I know Leos and Libras, honey. The two L's, we're like this. I love my Libras. I got a lot of Libras around me. And they're cool as hell. But I'm gonna look into the Aquariuses. I am. So thank you for the super chat. D-Ray sent $10, says, T, I love you. Thank you for keeping us updated. I would rather watch you than the news. 100. Those who don't care about the ICE situation lack empathy and humanity. Lack just not empathy, but humanity. I agree. Because again, nobody's saying that if, somebody gets caught and they're not supposed to be here, nobody's saying that, they shouldn't be, sent to detention, but it's the way that they're doing it. That's the issue. It's the abuse. It's the racism. It's the, the facilities are just horrible. They're not being given water, food. It's dirty. It's disgusting. It's cold. It's just too much. And then now it's like it's not even about the people who are supposedly illegal. They're going after everybody just based on what you look like. I mean, when you got people like my son's friend, I guess you call them Asian, they're half Filipino and half white. But they look more ethnically Asian, right? They're scared. These are girls who've never had to think twice. Beautiful young girls. They've never had to think twice about moving. But now they're like, do I look too ethnic? Am I going to get pulled over? Because they don't necessarily look white either. So if you just look anything. You had people on Instagram. I saw a lady's Instagram and it broke my heart. She was trying to find ways to look less Mexican. She's like, I can't braid my hair. I don't want to wear this sweater. And then there were Mexicans in her comment section saying, well, you're lucky. At least you're one of those white passing Mexicans. What about me, who's more brown? I'm like, damn. You got Mexicans who are more white passing, trying to figure out how to look less Mexican. And the brown Mexicans like, yeah, at least you can somewhat pass. And I remember one of my really good friends in LA. She's probably one of the darkest Mexicans I've ever seen. Her and her sister, beautiful girls. They were so brown skin. I remember they said they used to get made fun of because they were so dark. From people in their own community. So Mexicans can get pretty brown. Because my kid, matter of fact, she was darker than my kids. And she was full-blooded Mexican. I'm like, are you sure I was like, you're so brown. She was like, no, I'm full Mexican. Beautiful girls. So it's really sad. It's really sad that there's people out here just having to figure out how to move based on what they look like. So people saying that, oh, well, it's not their fight. It doesn't matter. Keep that same energy when it comes to your city. Because they're pulling over police officers. They're pulling over doctors and nurses. So understand that this is coming to a city near you. It's not going to stop in Minnesota. This is just the testing ground. Let's see here. Hey, Mimi, 5388 says, T, next time set the chat to members only, not the whole live. So how do I set the chat to that? Because it's not allowing me to do that. I'm going to have to watch some videos. Let me see. Community moderation. Nope, that takes me to a YouTube thing. Let's see. Comments. I'm just looking at my moderation page. Controls. Yeah, no, it just sends me to a permissions page. Leave. I'm going to have to find out. Reactions. Participants. Okay. Yeah. Live chat, top chat. Messages visible. Yeah, it's not, I don't know how they do it. I'm gonna, like I said, it's not allowing me to change it. The only option I'm getting on my end is members only live stream. So it looks like, unless you remember, you're not even able to see this live stream. So again, I'm not charging $50. It's $1. You know, that's the cheapest tier, you know, because we are living in, you know, inflation. So yeah, it was only $1. But I will look more into that, because I do want, you know, people who are supporters on Discord and on Patreon to be able to access and come in. But this was my first time doing it. I assumed that it was just going to control the chat, but it looks like it turned the whole stream into only members only stream. So let me see if there's anybody else talking at the Target Center before I leave. Oh, something's happening. A little Somali girl.
As Martin Luther King Jr. said, the time is always right to do what is right. So come out for one Minnesota. Peace for Renee Good. Really quick, we didn't get your name. Rion. There we go, everybody. Thank you to everybody here again. We gotta close it up so fast. Thank you so much, but literally, we can't do this for free. So please, please, please go to Ice Out Now, Minnesota. Make a donation so we can pay for this. Thank you so much. Keep fighting.
Okay, looks like it's over. Everybody's starting to exit. Let's see what he has to say.
Today I'm gonna go and get to my vehicle and go back out in the cold, and
Keep on seeing the streets. See you everywhere. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna go to my truck and get everything and go home.
So yeah, it looks like it's over. Let me check and see real quick what's going on the streets with status quo. Okay, he's down by the old jail.
Me for just a second here, because we're just walking now. I just want to be confirming that our signal isn't cutting out. Oh, though it sounds like there's a little bit of a delay between when I'm talking here and when you're seeing me on your end.
ICE and Border Patrol agents' personal info exposed in data, and that's in Oklahoma. Huh. I Thousands of brave fight the cold. I'm trying to see if there's any other like lives going on outside of the Target Center. Okay, that was earlier.
Si la Ellen que anda cerca, ella la conoce.
Oh, it looks like there's
Díganle a ver
other
si-
states protesting.
Sí.
Hold on, let me show y'all this. This person is doing all 3 states, so they got Minnesota in the middle, Los Angeles right here, and then this is Portland. So Portland, Oregon. So it looks like other states are also protesting today. Okay, that's dope. People standing with Minnesota. I like that. All right, y'all. I've been on here for over 2 hours. This was a wonderful stream. Thank you guys to everybody who came today. Let's see here. Bernard Nation 2004 says, I'm hearing that ICE is coming for Cuban people in Florida. I think they've been coming for the Cubans. I really vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, they've been coming for them for a while. Yeah. Victoria Marie sent 999 says, thank you for the love. Thanks. Hold on. She says, thanks for the love, all of you. Someone told me that most, not all white people can't stand black people who have more than them. I cannot unsee it. Oh yeah. If I ever feel like one time doing a story time about what I went through to build my first home that I built, Emily knows and Lady J knows. The jealousy that I had to go through dealing with this white man, that's why I ended up building and doing it all over again. There's definitely, people do. They do. And it's all rooted in racism, because how dare you be able to do something that I'm not even able to do? One of the worst, most racist experiences I've ever had building. That's why I couldn't stay at that other home. I told my kids once we moved in, we'll be out of here in less than 2 years. This ain't my forever home. Because the energy that was put into that home, the jealousy, the nastiness I had to deal with. But you can't just sell your home right away once you move in. You got to live there at least a year. And then I started building, because you can't sell before 2 years. So as soon as it was a year, I started the process of looking for another builder. The second time around, they were white. But when I tell you, it was a major difference. Why? Because Dustin, my builder who built this home with me, who was actually an architect, who worked with me side by side, I sat down and I told him I went through a lot of racist bullshit, and I'm not going to go through that ever again, especially when I'm spending my money. But see, the difference is Dustin comes from money. His daddy was an architect. They've built many homes. He owns several homes. So he's not threatened by me as a black woman. The other one, I don't want to speak too bad of him, because he ended up, you know what I'm saying, dying. Ironically enough. Yeah, there's definitely a jealousy, especially when black people are doing well for themselves. But the love that was put into this home, I mean, the pride that my builder takes in this home, the happiness that he gave me, there's nothing I need. Like, I have my mom calls it gypsy spirit, where I need to always move and see different sceneries and just, I've moved a lot. My kids have moved around a lot. We've lived in different states. This is the first time in 2 years where I don't feel like I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm cool where I'm at. I love my home. Even to this day, Dustin can hit me up and be like, T, I want to show your home off for some potential buyers. Come on through. Give me 24 hours. Let me make sure everything's clean. My house doesn't really get messy like that because my kids are grown. He's brought some folks into my home where they've walked in, they fucking jaw hit the ground. Like, damn, a black woman owns this? And I'm sitting on my couch watching Love and Hip Hop. You damn right. I've had some of his white buyers come and be like, I cannot believe, like, you built this, you created this. Like, how did you even come up with this concept? I've never seen a bathroom like that. Like, I am so impressed. I'm like, because Dustin wasn't jealous. He actually listened to my ideas. He didn't try and knock me down or say I was doing too much. I'm like, if you want a solid builder, you'll go with him. Oh, I've gotten him several new clients. So you're not lying at all, sis. You got to watch out, especially when you're a person of color. Everybody ain't happy for you. And I learned that with my first, it was the worst experience I've ever had. I told them kids the day I signed in to move in, I said, we're not going to be here. We'll be out this house in less than 2 years. Mark my words. I said, so don't get comfortable. I'm going to make my money back, flip this house, and we're out. Sold it, made good little, change from it. While I was actively building this house, because this house took about a year to build. Yep. So I've learned firsthand. I've never really spoke about it publicly. Like I said, Emily knows the shit I went through, Lady J, but yeah, it was not good the way I was treated. The racism I had to deal with from both men and women. But the new people that I hired, that I thoroughly vetted and had real conversations with them, they handle business. I can call them to this day and be like, hey, something's going on with this, and that. And they'll still come over and fix whatever I need fixed. Still text, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, how's the house going? Or I saw your latest YouTube video. Still show love. But the other one, yeah. It is what it is with that one. One day I'll tell this story. It's like you would think that it was like, I don't know, some type of fan fiction. Like, dude ended up dying. That's how crazy this story gets. I still had like the last conversation with him and stuff. It's insane, the shit that happened. Which y'all, I'm gonna get ready to get up off of here. I've been on here for over 2 hours. Blackfoot Baddie said 1399 says, why not build unity among indigenous nations across America and the African American communities, given our shared histories of the colonization and resistance? Yeah, that would be nice. But again, it's easier to sow division. It's easier to say, well, I'm not Indian, that's their problem. I'm not Mexican, I'm not black, that's their issue. And that's what I see a lot on social media. It's like all this division. Who's black, who's not black. Blacks versus Latinos versus Asians. So people have to really come together and start with their own communities and let them know that they need to work with black folks. Because I get it. I understand why a lot of black Americans are tired. And I don't blame them. Because they put their lives on the line, their forefathers, for the civil rights movement. And everybody else benefited. And then turned around and acted like they were the problem. where a lot of groups would not have their freedoms that they have if it was not for the African American community. So I think, and I'm not talking about you specifically, but I think in order for things to heal, people need to acknowledge that. And I'm glad that these conversations are being had, because you are seeing Asians on TikTok apologizing. You are seeing some Latinos taking accountability. But I think it needs to be had at a, on a bigger level. But yeah, that would be nice if you could reunite and have all the indigenous communities come together. Somebody says, have you ever salted to deter malicious spirits? That's interesting. I haven't personally, but I know that is a hoodoo practice. Salt, if you put salt or brick dust by your doorway, whatever seeks to harm you can't come in. That's why I say, like, a lot of the things that we do, like in African culture, Caribbean culture, and African American culture, they're so in sync with each other because we all come from the same lineage. I was raised, you don't put welcome mats in front of your door. I didn't know that African Americans do that too, like, in hoodoo culture, because you don't know what you're welcoming. Just put a flat, regular mat on your door. Because you don't know what you're welcoming. Never put a welcome mat in front of your door. Home sweet home. I had that at the back of my door because if you made it past my garage, you're good peoples. So you're coming into my home sweet home. But as far as outside people, absolutely not. All them people, how people have them big welcome, like, they're not sticks, they're like boards. They put them alongside their house, like welcome. I don't put none of that. I don't play by my house. Somebody said, did you hear about MAGA witches doing hoodoo, using hoodoo? I haven't heard about that. Who said that? Keisha? No, I haven't heard about that. What are they doing? I heard that in Louisiana they was making voodoo dolls of ICE agents. I did hear about that. Kay says, yes, my native families make sure that we know our history and that it's passed down. The school books made it sound mild. My great-grandmother would tell stories of things they saw as a child. Yeah. And you got to remember those stories and, pass them down to your children. First name, last name says, my mom is Native American and Black. We don't play that. I know that's right. Victoria says, my welcome sign is at my back door. Yeah, as long as you know who you're welcoming into your home. Somebody said, I have salt and a welcome mat. The spirits must be confused. Oh, you're doing both. You got the salt underneath the welcome mat? That's funny. So MAGA now has people practicing voodoo. That is insane. But aren't these supposed to be good Christians? As a Christian, you're not supposed to be dabbling in voodoo. Last time I checked. I haven't heard this. Let me see. MAGA witches are doing voodoo? I saw the ice and the voodoo dolls, but I didn't hear about the MAGA witches. I'm trying to find a short video on it. Let me see. It's probably on TikTok, but I'm not clicking on TikTok. MAGA witches. That sounds like such a oxymoron. How are you going to be a MAGA and a witch? A message for all the MAGA witches claiming to use voodoo. Let's see, who is this? All right, hopefully this ain't no long video, child. I haven't heard nothing about this. MAGA witches practicing voodoo. But these are supposed to be good Christians. I ask Confucius.
Now we got...
Okay, hold on. There's a black man. Okay, this is a short video. Let's watch this real quick before I leave. Let's see here. Hold on real quick. Let me fix this. Okay, so yeah, I gotta hear about this. I hadn't heard about this.
You got MAGA witches? Understand, white people. I've seen this multiple times. White people practicing voodoo, hoodoo. Understand, these are closed practices, right? These are closed practices, right? But understand, on top of being a closed practice, your ancestors are the reason why these people practice in the first place. You are what we need the protection from. You are connected by blood to people who tortured, brutalized, and took the lives of people in which you are trying to worship. You are not practicing hoodoo. You're not practicing hoodoo. You're not practicing voodoo. You're not practicing voodoo. You're not practicing none of that shit. Stop trying to colonize. Everything ain't for everybody. It is a closed practice for a reason. But why would the spirits, right, help colonizers?
Okay, I thought he was gonna play one of these. I want to find the MAGA person talking about this. MAGA witch. It's a hashtag. Like, now I'm curious. MAGA witches doing voodoo and hoodoo. Is this on Twitter? Let me see. So MAGA witches are using hoodoo and voodoo to reach out to the ancestors. What in the world is going on here? Let me look on Twitter. Because people are talking about it. I'm trying to find the witch that's saying it. Federal mandate ICE agents to... No, that's something different. MAGA witches. Let me see. 7 hours ago. Warning to all
be
the
careful.
White MAGA witches. I'm really trying to find like where this came from. Let me see. We have wizards, sorcerers, dragons and stuff. Don't eat no witches. Let me go through the media, see what comes up. What did she say?
Hey, did anybody else write the names of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Stephen Miller, Nancy Mace, and Greg Abbott on a piece of paper, and then take that piece of paper, put it into a jar with some ash and some dirt from the part of the yard where the dogs like to crap, and then get some dirty toilet water and put that in there too, along with some cayenne pepper and some chili powder?
Girl, get the fuck off of here. Let's see what she's talking about.
They want us. They want us more than we want them. I can tell you that. You know, when I was still dating, before I met my amazing...
She ain't talking about shit. Let's see this crazy one. Let's see what she's talking about.
I saw this comment of somebody saying, oh, be careful, witches. They have their witches too. They have their witches too, so be careful. Protect yourself. I just want to remind any of the white lady witches that are doing shit for MAGA. Stolen magic that's not yours does not work the same. Colonized practices that are not ancestrally yours do not work the same. My family's from Belarus. That's where I get my practices from. Old practices, old country. If you're a white person that was bad to the people you doing those practices back in the day, but now you want to start doing those practices, our ancestors have not forgotten. The idea that like MAGA white women are using witchcraft to go against indigenous practitioners, it brings me joy, baby. You should not mess around with magic if you do not come from that. You cannot just pick up a book and start talking to Kali. Good luck. I mean, good luck. I actually got so excited hearing that because I was like, oh, that's actually amazing. They are going to curse themselves. They are going to curse themselves.
Okay, we have totally lost the plot. We have lost the plot in America. So you have MAGA witches now trying to place curses on indigenous people who are practicing voodoo, hoodoo, and, you know, Santeria, Brujeria, Ifa. And so now they're trying to dabble in it. Well, I hope they remember the white girl who caught herself trying to, you know, call on Papa Legba at the crossroads and ended up dying. I'm just saying. This is disturbing. They've just simply lost the plot, especially when these are supposed to be good Christian folk. Why would y'all be dabbling in sorcery and magic and, you know, scary traditions? Wow. All right. Queen Naystar sent $9.99, says, I watch documentaries and would not be surprised if a lot of agents from these extreme cults, they have multiple wives, hundreds of children, and trained them for mass government takeover. That's interesting. Never know. Tea-sippers, I've been on here for almost 3 hours, child. It's time for me to go. Thank y'all for the extra information. I'm going to look more into the whole MAGA witches things. Maybe I'll do a video when I can find the MAGA witches and what they had to say, because I had no idea this was going on. But I thank y'all for joining me today. It's just been a lot. Please, let me leave with this, especially if you're in the South. I hope you guys are prepared. I hope you guys have your battery generators and things like that. There is one of the most vicious ice storms coming, and it's about to hit the entire Southeast. We remember what happened in 2021 when Houston had a straight problem with that ice storm. People died because they had their stoves on in the house. They were warming up their cars in the garages. So make sure you guys have extra blankets. If your power goes out, stick to being in one room with each other. Have backup generators, extra food, because this storm is coming in tonight. It's about to be a super cold freeze throughout the Southeast. And we're also going to get even colder. Like this whole weekend, we're going to be in negative 22 plus weather. So stay safe, stay warm. Once again, thank you guys for joining me. Sorry to the folks who weren't able to come in. I'll get it all figured out at another time. But this was definitely a different vibe in the chat. And I thank you guys for just being mature, having dialogue, agree to disagree. But when I tell you I'm able to read, I don't see a bunch of chaos, spamming. So just thank you guys. I really do. I appreciate y'all.